The last 3 months have been literally an historical moment for all the crypto space, but specifically for Bitcoin. I don't know if you noticed, but a new kind of, let's say, technology has came out when it comes to Bitcoin. And I'm referring to the ordinals. If you don't know what is an ordinal, I will explain just into this video. Pay attention because it's pretty interesting. It is connecting also to the whole narrative about NFTs on Bitcoin. Plus, what we'll discuss together is what I'm really thinking about this so-called innovation. And what is, in my opinion, the big narrative can literally change everything when it comes to Bitcoin. So pay attention to it because it's quite important. And guys, I don't know if you remember, but we have just launched Defi, that is our free DeFi course that is completely available on our platform. And we are celebrating it with a 10K giveaway. Yes, it's true. We are giving away 10K of dollar. If you want to know more, just access using the link in the description below. That's something that we are just doing to say thank you for all of us that you are following. And plus, because we truly believe that DeFi can be a game changer for the next future. And we are here to help you navigate this space at best. And guys, don't forget also that this channel is just about educational content. Nothing has to be intended as financial advice. If you want to invest in anything, that's fine. But do always your research before. And guys, also check, again, all our links in the description below. Our course, our giveaway, our Twitter, and so on. It's full of opportunities. It is completely free. And you can also have the opportunity to earn some free money. Okay, guys, let's start immediately. As promised, today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. What happened in the last couple of months is that the number of transactions, and specifically in the last couple of weeks, has simply skyrocketed. And that's something that wasn't happening until, we can say, 2017. That's also the reason why many people started to think, is it just like a top? Because last time that we have seen something like that, it was coincidental to a big top of Bitcoin. The point is that the reality is that right now, we are in a completely different situation. What we have been seeing in the last couple of months is that we have the introduction of the ordinals. The ordinals is just a different way of using Bitcoins. As you probably know, and I will also leave this link by the Binance Academy has been done pretty well. And it is referring obviously to what is an ordinal. Well, it is pretty basic. As we all know, each Bitcoin is composed by Satoshis. In one Bitcoin, there are 100 million of Satoshis. And in each Satoshi, we can inscript a message, and plus we can track it during the whole life of that Satoshi. So imagine what does it mean? Well, if you think about it, it is pretty close to what is an NFT. An NFT is simply a token that is using an underlying blockchain. And we can identify each token because it is unique. Well, it is pretty the same when it comes to Bitcoin. We have 100 million of Satoshis in each Bitcoin, and each of them could be identified as unique. And the point of, in the moment when these users have introduced the ordinals is that they thought, well, it is pretty close to what is an NFT because each Satoshi could be unique and we can track it off chain. And in the moment when we can track it off chain, and if we create like a protocol, an application that is reading the information on that Satoshi, we can recreate the same system. And that's exactly what happened. For example, what we are seeing here are all NFTs that are inscripted into the Bitcoin blockchain. So the whole narrative when it comes to ordinals is that we can have NFTs, but with the level of security and decentralization of Bitcoin. It's like a dream. Well, the reality is that it is slightly more complex. First of all, it is a big problem for the whole blockchain. Honestly speaking, even if I really like to see innovation on Bitcoin, I'm quite skeptical on the success long-term speaking of this kind of stuff, simply because Bitcoin, it doesn't have the technology to support this kind of stuff. Bitcoin is done to be a store of value, and that's something that is it is doing quite well. The number of transactions is limited by the nature of the blockchain itself. And that's the reason why when it comes to, as you can see, this is a chart that is showing the amount of ordinals, how they are increasing. But remember that for each of them, it's also increasing the number of transactions of the request of resources on from the mining point of view. And the result is that the cost of each transaction is increasing. And that's something that is a big limitation. Let's suppose that you want to move $100. Well, it is a big problem if just the transaction is costing you $30 like was happening the other day on Ethereum. So I don't think that long-term speaking, this kind of solution can survive. And I'm more bullish when it comes to layer 2 on Bitcoin, like Stacks, that is one of them, that are trying to add on top of that, like a layer 2 or something like that, a layer for smart contracts to be run using Bitcoin as the main chain, but start running other technologies, other side chains and so on aside from that. So Bitcoin can run by itself, and other solutions like Stacks can start introducing DeFi, because that's something that's pretty interesting. I'm a big fan of seeing more use cases, native use cases for Bitcoin. Don't forget that right now it's pretty difficult to use Bitcoin on any kind of DeFi protocol. You need to use a wrapped, for example, WBTC, so you need to wrap it, or you need to use any kind of other solution that is enabling you to move your Bitcoins from a Bitcoin chain to another blockchain. The reality is that you are not moving real Bitcoins, but you are just depositing your Bitcoins into a smart contract, and this smart contract will use this collateral like as a guarantee to mint another token into that blockchain that you want to use. But it's not like using a native asset. And if you're wondering why it is different, well, mainly because if for any reason someone is hacking that smart contract, well, it doesn't matter how many Bitcoins you have on, let's say, on Ethereum. You will lose everything simply because what you are holding is just a fake token, something that is representing and is taking the value from another thing that is the smart contract. So you are exposed to a much higher risk. Another story comes when you have solutions like Stacks or whatever that are using native technology, adding another layer for smart contracts and so on. That's also the reason why when it comes to Stacks, for example, we have seen in the last couple of months a big rally by this technology. And that's something that I'm pretty bullish and I'm really curious to see. But let's go back to Ordinals and to the BRC20, that is the standard, the token that is used on Bitcoin for this kind of NFTs. I want to tell you two things. First of all, what are the possible use cases for Ordinals and why in some way they could be cool? And on the other side, BRC20, how it has been used until now and how you should use it, and pay attention because there are also some risks that I will tell you just in a moment. So first, let's go to the Ordinals. What is pretty cool is that, for example, if we go down here it is. As you can see, the Ordinal theory is telling you that each Satoshi could have different values according to the level of rarity. So they took all the different Satoshis and they said, according to the block, according to the moment when it has been minted, well, that Satoshi has a different value, or better, that ordinal, because the ordinal is just the inscription into a specific Satoshi. And that's pretty cool because in this way, we have added another layer of value into Satoshis. And that's something I like because this is a unique method to give value to Satoshis and to push people also to collect them. Obviously, it is impossible someone want to collect all of them for the simple reason it means controlling the whole supply of Bitcoin. That would be too costly. But on the other side, it's true that it's giving value, for example, to the epic Satoshis, like the first start after each halving. There is a total supply of 32. Legendary, the first start of each cycle, and so on. So as you can see, there is a specific way to decide which Satoshi is more rare than another. So this is something is adding value because it means that people are competing to own that kind of Satoshi. It is pushing more transaction, more interest into the blockchain, and so on. So from this way, it is pretty positive. Another story comes when it comes to the BRC20. BRC20, it is the standard for new, let's say, meme tokens. Because I don't know if you noticed, but right now we have so many meme tokens that are recognized like with a supply. Each token is represented by a single Satoshi. For example, we can have a Memecoin with 20 million of a market supply, and these 20 million are represented by 20 million of Satoshi. And you can mint them, but pay attention, you can't mint them just as you want. You have to use specific applications that are allowing you to do that. As you can see, one of them is Unisat, that is a legit platform. Pay attention, guys, about what I just said. Legit platform, because this market is simply crazy, and scams, people that want to steal your money and so on, it is plenty. So pay attention when you are using any kind of platform, even Unisat. Remember, in the moment when you are looking for information, check everything every time before using. What are the latest updates about any of the platforms? Check on Twitter, check on the medias, on YouTube or whatever. And pay attention, because just the other day we have seen another big hack of people that lost money just because what they were using, it is a scam. So what I'm saying is, first of all, you need to check everything before using. Second, if you want to use a BRC20 or whatever, you need to have a wallet, and you need to start using this kind of applications that are helping you into the process of trading, minting, creating new tokens, and so on. Honestly speaking, it's interesting, obviously, when you see new use cases for Bitcoin, and it's pretty curious to see how the community has started to use them. On the other side, I don't think that this kind of solution can have a future, at least not as it is. It is just a way to speculate, to play, and also to attract more attention around Bitcoin, because the positive thing is that people are not anymore just thinking about Bitcoin as the digital gold, but maybe they are start wondering, well, maybe it's the case to start thinking a new different way to use Bitcoin, like with a layer 2 and so on, to start adding a native DeFi and so on. I will just give you a hint on what is my opinion. As I told you previously, I like seeing this case, the possibility to collect, and most of all, layer 2s like stacks that are trying to implement DeFi on Bitcoin. On the other side, I'm still skeptical about building and transforming Bitcoin in another Ethereum. I'm thinking that Bitcoin is as good as it is just even right now. We don't need to innovate to change Bitcoin. I'm thinking that it is good to integrate something else like stacks to give native features, and into another step of the evolution, I'm thinking that the blockchain world will be completely cross-chain. So we will not be anymore aware on which kind of technology we are using. So the blockchain, the underlying blockchain. And in that moment, it will be beautiful, because all these technologies will simply enabling us to take any token for any kind of platform and using them on DeFi and so on. Because as I told you, having Bitcoin available on DeFi is so powerful and so valuable. On the other side, I truly hope that the community will not push to change the nature of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something that should remain as a store of value, or at least that's my opinion. Feel free to share yours into the comment section, and let me know if you have been using Ordinals. I'm thinking that it is a big trend right now. I'm not sure that it will last so long. I'm thinking that it will change. Maybe we will see a dedicated layer 2. That's something that I wouldn't be surprised that is working just for Ordinals, for BRC20 and so on. But it is bringing, like exactly as it is happening for all the layer 2s on Ethereum. It is giving you the ability to move something from a Bitcoin chain to something else, and creating new use cases connected to what Bitcoin is offering. That's something that could be pretty cool. Okay, guys, just to summarize, Pay attention to this big trend because it's something that is congesting the blockchain of Bitcoin. It is increasing the amount of transaction and the cost of the single transaction. And that's something that could change also the way maybe whales or the price and so on. Because obviously it means also that right now miners are doing more money and so on. So pay attention to that because it's particularly important. And on the other side, start thinking about on how the future could be in a moment when we will be able to use Bitcoin in different ways, stacks and so on. And let me know what you think, because the whole point is to start a discussion to literally exchange opinions, because it's so important in a way in a world like this one that is changing so fast. Remember, no one has the truth. I'm just here to share what is my opinion, but it doesn't mean that it's right, and I'm more than curious to see and to listen from yours. Guys, don't forget also to check out our giveaway with 10K of a dollar plus with a latest DeFi course that is completely free. I will leave all the links into the description below and into our pinned comment. Guys, see you soon with another video. Bye guys.